A monopoly run by politicians with very little experience in prison law and prison policies is simply not going to be as good as competition when you're looking for the best results. So I want to take the monopoly prison we currently have. We might have some private prisons out there, but they are super heavily regulated. They have to do exactly what the government says. So in a very big way, they're still monopoly prisons. Just trying to get a little bit of free enterprise benefits in there. But I want to go much more free enterprise, much more controlled by the private prison system. And they'll be based, they're a large part of their payment is going to be based off of the results. So you're going to quickly have bad results leaving the system. Prisons that have bad results, or people who manage the prison, they're going to have to be turned away, and other people are going to be people with better results are going to come in and manage the prison. They're going to be able to get rid of bad prison guards quickly, get rid of the so many protections against prison guards. They're government workers, so they have strong work protections. And that's not always the best way to handle this situation, because you need to have good results. Sometimes you can just have better management come in and change a bad employee into a better employee. But if that bad employee stays bad, you need a good way of getting rid of them quickly. And with private prisons, you still have to have authorization from a representative body that authorizes that badge to work in the prison. And even if it's a private prison, you need to have that badge in my system. It's a good way of doing oversight. And plus, we're going to have a really good rating system is going to be doing this. Funding is significantly based off of good results. We'll go over some of the aspects of what good results is. Even though every rating agency can decide on their own what a good result is. You might not think that there should be a good debate about what good results are, but there will be. So I have a lot of bullet points about prison correction system. It all goes with competitive governance. So it's very, very important that we understand all the bullet points about competitive governance and all the bullet points about prison and correction sector. But this video is short. A lot more can be seen at the on my website. The funding from the prison sector is distributed to the prisons based on the prison's rating system overall ratings. So I might have said that badly. But every prison system is going to be funded based off of their results. The results are going to be based off of the rating system, the prison rating system's overall ratings. And you have competitive ratings, so every citizen selects what prison rating system they trust. They look at their worldview, how they want to do ratings on prisons, how prisons should be run, and they select their prison rating system based off of that. They also pick their prison ratings governing board and legislative body and stuff. Every prison rating agency will decide what they consider are the best outcomes and methods. And everybody will have significantly different outcomes and methods that they want to utilize. So I'm not even under the false impression that they're going to be the same. They're going to be wildly different. But when you have them all together, when you average all the rating agencies together, you're going to have a score. But I'm hoping that most people are going to look at low recidivism rates as a major portion of results. Restoration to the victim of the crime, that why they're in prison, who the victim is. Compensation to them. Reparations to the victim. So I'm kind of saying it twice, but they're a little bit different things. And you can be rated a little bit differently. And this will be controversial as well, but the convicted's long-term personal prosperity. So the inmate, what's their long-term prosperity? Because if you don't give them long-term prosperity and have that part of the measure, you're going to get more recidivism rate. So Obviously, people don't like the convict because they murdered or they raped or they did thuggery, they did robbery, they did armed robbery. They people want them punished. They don't want them to have a good life. I understand that. I totally understand that, and people can rate that way. But having long-term personal prosperity of the person who was convicted, taking them from their life of crime to a life of prosperity, will make society so much better. And that's where the money should be going, in my opinion. That's what I would be rating this higher. If or I would join a rating agency that would rate that as high, because that would result in lower recidivism rates, and a lot to it. Anyway, let's keep on going. Every prison system will decide how it will run. And again, if you have low ratings, you're going to get a lot lower compensation packages. Civil liberties will need to be respected. That's a given. And if you do not respect civil liberties, you lose your right to become a prison. You have to have if you lose your right to become a prison, you have to have another governing board come take over. Maybe get rid of some of the guards, get some new people in there. You have to have some turnover. Some significant turnover. They are allowed to work the inmates to defray the cost. That's going to be huge. Now, working the inmates is not just to have quote unquote slavery, because slavery is not the same thing as working inmates. It might look that way in some aspects, but slavery is taking away somebody's liberty without them doing wrong. Being in the system, criminal justice system as a punishment means you're getting punished for doing wrong. Your liberty has to be curtailed. Slavery is an unwarranted injustice of taking away your liberty. So two totally different things. So it might look the same, but you want a prison that's going to work the prisoner in the effort to have long-term prosperity, so when they get out, they have work skills to for when they get released. And probably even set up companies for these people, so when they're released, they have a job to go to. So it can be a full system. When you have 12 different competitive prison systems, you can have much experimentation. A lot more to see at Haley2024.org. Until the next video.